not a lot of public. Nancy Peterson, followed by David Greenwald.
Nancy Peterson. On consent calendar is approval of Board Policy 5145.3 dealing with non-discrimination harassment. Let me read one of the sentences to you. Any employee who permits or engages in prohibited discrimination, harassment, intimidation, bullying, or retaliation shall be subject to disciplinary action up to and including dismissal. There are two very important elements embedded here: permits retaliation and engages in retaliation. I wonder why members of this governance body, including the superintendent, have been issuing statements lately that speak to harming a student in order to retaliate against a parent as a simple mistake. Let's just forget it happened and move on. To summarize, just last week, the Board of Education voted to uphold the findings of the administration regarding a parent complaint about an employee, and within 4 days, the same administration is putting the same employee forward to coach the very team in which the findings occurred. 4 days. Is this an example of restorative justice? If so, some might be wondering about the student and what Mr. Roberson has done to heal the harm done to the student involved. Lost my place. Nothing is my answer. Here we all are, 7 months after the complaint was filed, and he has never even spoken to the student. Neither has any other administrator, principal, or athletic director, or trustee. In fact, the coach never even bothered to speak to her player of 3 years. So, President Daleiden, since your biggest issue seemed to be why this wasn't handled before setting a Code 3 in motion, here is my answer. That would have required someone from the district or even DHS to speak to the student. And that, I can assure you, never happened. Mr. Roberson, while you are busy appeasing your employee, the student that was harmed has been left to wonder why those in charge and entrusted with the well-being of the students, the DHS principal, and the full-time athletic director never tried to help or protect her. What did she do wrong? So much for the student-centered decisions you are always touting. But I digress. Let's go back to Board Policy 5145.3 and let's look at an earlier phrase in it. The board prohibits any form of retaliation. The same phrase appears in Board Policy 1312.1, similar phrases in Board Policy 4144, 4119.1. There are a total of 14 DJUSD board policies prohibiting retaliation. Also California Education Code and California Legal Code. Just by the number of policies and various judicial and even quasi-judicial processes that address the prohibition of retaliation, it would appear to be if not the cornerstone to many issues. Prohibiting retaliation would appear to be important, in fact critical. Board policy, education code, and CIF guidelines are in place to protect the school community. Let's go back a few years to Coach Jeff Christian, then a multi-year girls basketball coach at Davis High. He removed 2 players from his team and was fired for that. The technicality cited was failure to notify the players before announcing it. I wonder if he knew that technicality, or was it a simple oversight through no fault of his own? Perhaps the real difference is that Coach Christian wasn't a teacher, and therefore the DTA wasn't backing him with all their political power, and the board didn't have to worry about the impact of alienating them. Students and the school community should be the priorities, and not the political prowess of a union out to preserve members regardless of their activities. I am left to wonder if families feel safe now. How many will dare bring their concerns to this administration or to this board?
Thank you.